Hi everyone, this is Edwin George from Pageant Empress and I have a special video for you guys. I have three other pageant vloggers from all around the universe. We are coming together to do the recap of the preliminary competition for Miss Universe 2020. First, I have a guest all the way from Puerto Rico. Hello, Oscar.
Hello, how are you guys? Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here.
It's my pleasure and thank you for being here. Second, all the way from the Queen of the North, all the way from Canada, we have Mr. Lewis. Hello, Lewis.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to see you all.
And last but not the least, all the way from Manila, Philippines, my fellow neighbor Asian country. From Manila, Philippines, I have Filipino designer Mr. Jian Lasala. Mabuhay, Jian.
Mabuhay, Sarikap, and hola. Thank you for having me here, George.
In this video, we'll be doing a recap of the preliminary competition that just happened. It finished like an hour ago, so it's freshly in my mind. I'm sure you guys too. So we have a lot to say about our opinions about the preliminary competition. So let's start with the opening, the introduction round, which was slightly different to the typical, introduction. So what do you guys thought about that?
I wasn't a fan of it. I don't like the production of the beginning. I feel like the cameraman took like 10 girls to finally know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And even though when he knew what he was doing, I felt like it wasn't enough time for us to really see the girls in the introduction.
I thought that they looked beautiful in like the little dresses and all, but when it comes to the production part of it, it was certainly not there. And we saw on social media in the previous days that the girls were rehearsing for this, so we know that the work was there, but I feel like when it comes to the production side of it, they didn't put chances on the girl side.
I loved it. It was like, I think, the best Cherry Hill dresses that I've seen. It was actually well thought of. Finally, we can see colors. Like, I think it reminds me of the 2017 edition, but this one's a lot better. How I wish everyone was wearing all the tassels and the lace, but nonetheless, Cherry Hill did a great job this.
Since we talked about the fashion, can we talk about the girls? So in the introduction round, which girls stood out?
I think Colombia did a little twirl when she first came up, and I thought that was great because up until her, nobody had done that.
To be quite honest, I feel like we got like so little time to really analyze even like the dress, or even because at that point when you're rooting for someone, like when you see them, like you want to see what the hair looks like and the makeup, and then you got to focus on the dress as well, and it's just like you get like what, 5 seconds. So it was hard to make like a top 5, but I remember because I was live streaming at that point, and I saw like some of my subscribers like going crazy, and I remember that I was telling myself, okay, the Latinas are serving it, and the Asian girls as well. I don't want to like isolate anyone whatsoever because everyone at some point did something good during the competition, but I remember that was the idea that was crossing my mind.
Myanmar really stood out for me. During the introduction, she looked very regal and very elegant. And quite a few girls, even Romania, she looked very polished. And of course, kudos to our girl, the lead. She was just very, very stunning in the opening. And I feel like she was very nervous, but it didn't show.
First girl who really stood out to me was Miss Peru. Her eyes were like so captivating. I kept looking at her, even though I was not a fan of that, Christmas type of dress. Like my eyes are literally on her. And I don't think a lot of people are talking about her, but for me, Costa Rica really shined from the moment she was walking. I was like, this girl, there's something special about her, and she managed to keep up the momentum until the end. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But those three girls definitely stood out. What do you guys thought of the female host? So we had 2 South African Miss Universe as the host.
I think that Zozibini did great. I feel like they should have, I don't know if they read it before they did the presentation. I feel like Demi stumbled a lot on her words. She's not competing, so it's whatever. Because I'm like, okay, wait, what did she say? And, I had to like rewind it sometimes because she would stumble up on her words.
How I wish there was a male host with Zoe.
Yes.
And
That's
I just
what I was
feel
waiting
for the. Yeah, and the hosts were standing up the entire time. Did you guys notice? They were not sitting down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my knees were hurting for them. The host did an okay job, like during the entire show, but what bothered me a little bit was really when they were making mistakes as the candidates were walking down down the runway, because I kind of put myself in the shoes of the contestant. If you're trying your best, deliver your walk and show the garment and really do your best, and then the host is not doing their job or they're failing at it, it kind of takes away from your experience. And regardless of the outcome of the competition, whether you get the crown or not, or whatever happens, right? At the end of the day, you're gonna look back at this moment and you're always going to be reminded that, oh, the host kind of like made a mistake while I was walking down the runway.
Dominican Republic time. She was just waiting for her turn, and Zoe said Ecuador. And I thought, I'm pretty sure that's not the girl. I can just tell looking at her. And I was so surprised that she, like Miss Dominican Republic, actually performed really good. So I was really impressed by that. So I wish the host prepared a little bit more, maybe just, read through the lines just before starting it, maybe like rehearsed it a little bit more, because it did look like there was not enough practice. It felt like they just saw the lines and just read it when the live stream was happening. Now let's talk about the girls who stood out to us in the swimsuit competition. I want you guys to want honest truth on this one. What did you think of the capes first?
Puerto Rico's swimsuit and cape looked really nice, because I thought that the pink and the that turquoise color played well together. But then there were other girls that had this yellow cape that was just hideous. Like, it didn't go well with the color they had already because it looked washed out. I like the swimsuits. I did not like the capes.
Yeah, I agree, because the capes had a long sleeve. It looked like a cardigan. Yeah. And it became so unflattering to the girls who actually had really good bodies, like Nepal, for instance. She had a very beautiful body, but because of the very long, the cape that was so unflattering, it looked so terrible on her. And I agree with Oscar. Some of the colors were not good. Like, they had for example, for Iris, she was wearing this beautiful, what was her color? Turquoise or something? And then her cape, and then her cape was nude.
Some girls just seem to be a little lost with it. Like, do I throw it on the side? Do I go do I twirl? And for me, that's also part of it, right? So some of them, it was the color.
Now let's talk about the actual performance of the girls. So anyone who stood out to you?
I think Nepal was one of the best of the evening in swimsuit. I thought she was absolutely spectacular, and it's gratifying to see that I was proven right because I've been eyeing this girl for a while, and I'm like, watch out for Nepal, watch out for Nepal. Like, ever since she won her national pageant, I fell in love with her because I feel like she is so elegant, and she showed me spicy, fiery Latina when she flipped her hair, and then I thought her body was spectacular. That I thought she carried it really well. I loved her. I think she was one of my favorites.
And I think she was the only girl to actually do the hair flip right at the start, and I was like, okay, now we are talking, because before we were the same twirls and
she's here to play.
Yeah, she stood out.
I was get it, girl.
Yeah, I literally put in my captions "Baba Boob," finally someone came to action competition. That's what I wrote down in my caption. I really liked it. She looked like a top model from the 90s.
I'll give you just a few names, and then if you name others, then we can talk about it. Puerto Rico outfit, but I'm also talking about the confidence. It's all about the attitude. Philippines, people say I'm biased, but I really love Rabia. Her hips, everyone was going crazy, but hips don't lie, and I was really feeling it. Mexico, body was stunning, and I think I'll name one that kind of surprised me, that was really not on my radar, but Miss Haiti. I was really surprised by her. And
what surprised me the most tonight, it was Miss Bahamas. I was not expecting
that.
And I was like, that was so cute. Her work was so strong. I wrote down on my notes, she was the first girl. I said she had presence. A lot of us were not expecting that from her. She delivered, and I was like, okay, girl, I'm not. Now you are in my prediction.
Mexico, she arrived. Finally, I saw her in a different light. I saw her in a better styling. I saw her very polished. So happy for Andrea. And then next is Laos. Oh my goodness, she was just so polished. From Puerto Rico and Myanmar. Nepal, of course, I gave her a very good score. Puerto Rico, of course, Philippines. We're very proud of you, Rabia.
Yes.
Just don't listen to the bashers, please. And then who else? Portugal. I was so surprised with Portugal. She was just very stunning. Colombia. Her stage.
Oh my God, Colombia. Yes.
She arrived.
I was like, okay.
So sorry. Colombia, she arrived. And then, of course, to my girl, Belize, I'm so happy that, she was just very polished in swimsuit. She wasn't over the top. And the hand movement.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about South Africa? Like, guys, like I was, oh my God, this girl is stunning. Like she had such a high expectation, and for me, she lived up to that high expectation, like high mark.
I love her styling. She was very, very polished. She's just there, but then she's making her presence. Sometimes we would feel that she's underwhelming at times, but tonight it was a different story. She really competed.
Was it me or I felt like the hosts were really like rooting for her. They were like, China, Thailand, South Africa.
I mean, they were both from South Africa, so
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I would do the same thing if I'd be the host, yeah?
Amanda, she was walking really slow in the swimsuit, but when she did that turn, I was like, girl, thank you. Like I was literally waiting for her to like make that mark because we all know that Amanda is good at walking, right? And I was like, please be good in walking. I was like so pleased with the performance.
She was definitely a standout for me. I think she's as one of the strongest contenders from the region. I mean, I know that they're not doing regions, but she's definitely, I think, one of the stronger Asian candidates.
I feel like she has a lot more to give when she's herself rather than being coached at what she needs to do. Because Amanda, when I tried to observe her during her interview, she's much better when she's spontaneous. She is on her natural self rather than when she is forced to say something about certain political issues or whatnot. Tonight, she actually stood out. One of those who stood out for me, especially the gown, which we're going to talk about later.
Other girls had like such a lower music. The moment people walked, it went all the way up to 100. The universe telling you something or not. But like one of my favorite for sure.
I feel like Miss Universe, especially MG, wants maturity. They want somebody that has experience and has a lot of culture from their lives, whether it be studies or just life experiences or jobs. And one thing that really bothers me is when they like, oh, she doesn't look young enough. Not just her, but just any candidate. And I feel like, okay, well, like that's not her look. That's not what she is. But we can't not value her because she doesn't look as young as other candidates. And that's one thing that bothers me. But I really have to admire her. I think she did a great job. Her attitude was on point. Her confidence level is through the roof. And I think that even though it was subtle, she still killed it.
Those videos and all of those, when those started coming out, for me, Puerto Rico was one of the girls who really stood out. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because very often, and this when I made my first, like my initial top 21, a lot of girls who didn't make the cut were beautiful. Like they had everything, but when they were talking, they were saying, I would like to, one day I want to. And it's like, if you win the crown, girl, I want to know what you're going to do now. Because you're going to have this big, huge platform like now. It's not time to start figuring it out at this point. Like, what is your plan? What do you want to do? And for me, Estefania, she had like the full package. She had a vision. And she had that experience that sometimes comes with age.
A lot of people are kind of complaining, saying we're seeing the same girls in every single sponsor challenge or campaigns. Do you think it matters towards the final results?
Miss Universe is a business at the end of the day, and they need somebody that will be able to sell whatever sponsors they have. So if they have a makeup, hair, whatever kind of sponsor, they need a girl that can sell all those things. And it is a determining factor, I think, whether or not they feel like the girls that make it to the final are girls that they think that they can maybe market, that they're marketable.
2019, Zosie was not in many of the events, but then she won. I feel like for this year, yes, they're looking for some girl or a winner that can actually sell. But I think for this year, they're looking for someone who is facially beautiful that can actually talk. We are so blessed that this year, Miss Universe is kind of transparent. They release the up-close videos because from there, we can actually determine.
Who are the girls who stood out to you during the evening gown performance?
When they zoomed in to the gown, it was so beautiful on the top because it had like these turquoise and pink like diamonds or jewels. I think also Panama was beautiful. I thought Rabia looked beautiful. I didn't really capture what she was wearing until they were all going away from the stage, and then I saw the big cape and I thought that was very beautiful. South Africa, loved her completely. I thought she was super sexy with the gloves and the high slits. And then I have to give it up to my girl Puerto Rico because I think she picked a very unconventional color. I don't think anybody was expecting green.
I have Czech Republic. I went insanely crazy when I saw
that was couture.
so beautiful. It literally felt like
She's
a couture fashion week in front of my eyes, and I did not expect that in Miss Universe. I usually expect
Yeah.
like glittery, like sequins and stuff, but this gown was pure perfection. I loved Miss Czech Republic's gown, and like the gloves, like the glove and like the ruffle, it was just so much drama, and I was waiting for that because if you guys, I don't know if you guys remember it, but during the start, most of the girls have almost the same color palette. It was silver or white.
Mhm.
I was waiting for someone to give me a little bit elaborate, a little bit more drama. And I was like, I saw Czech Republic. I said, okay, finally a girl that I can root for. I don't know if you guys remember her, but Cameroon, I thought
Beautiful,
so much better than
beautiful.
I had imagined. It was the first year
Older.
for Cameroon
Yeah,
to compete at the Miss Universe. And for seeing from African country, we haven't really seen
gorgeous.
any, great gowns and just production wise, it's not that great, like styling wise, but she has such a beautiful gown. So for me, she stood out
Mhm.
as a dark horse. And I also want
Yeah.
to give a quick shout out to Peru. I feel like Peru is like my sentimental favorite. Like she was serving me everything I needed. Her face was gorgeous. Expression was like I was literally just focused on her the whole time.
For me, someone that really stood out was Miss Canada, Nova. I really
Mhm.
loved
Yeah.
her dress.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to say that she gave me everything that I was expecting, that I was hoping for Canada. Something that I did not like, however, was the lighting that they put for her. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't remember if like the main light was like red, and then there were like
Mhm.
elements of blue,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it just didn't make sense. But the gown itself and the way that she did the walk, it was amazing. I loved Rabia as well. I loved the yellow. I loved the jewelry that she wore with it.
Mhm.
It was beautiful. And just like you were saying earlier, Cameroon actually made my list
Mhm.
as well.
Mhm.
And which one was the oh, Miss Mexico? I really enjoyed her. Really, really
Yeah.
beautiful. It was very like daring, but you
Uh-huh.
know, very well done. And one last one that I really liked, Venezuela. About
Go,
Puerto
go.
Rico, she gave me when I saw her, I thought of J Lo Versace like immediately. I was
Mhm.
like,
Lock like capital letters. I put wow, really long
Mhm.
wow, because like you said, I was not expecting a green gown, especially for Miss Puerto Rico, and the fabric was like so
Yeah.
delicate, and it was so simple. The design was so simple, but because of the pleated fabric, it made so much
Mhm.
movement, and it was so graceful to see her walk down the runway, and I loved it. Like for me, she was definitely one of my top favorite.
The design that really stood out for me was a Romania's gown. It was a Michael
Mhm.
Cinco. I really
Beautiful.
loved it. Yeah. And then, of course, South Africa. I just did not agree. I just
Gorgeous.
didn't like
Oh my
the
god.
gloves thingy, but
Love
beautiful
them.
face. Yeah. Philippines, of course. Saw the gown actually was it was really unexpected because we never get to have a Miss Philippines that has a cape on the dress. So it has a
Mhm.
long train. I actually saw it, and it was very unlikely for a Fern Amato couture to do something like that. That's actually solid in color. That actually worked on her skin tone. So I like that. Nepal's gown. Oh my God, she was just really long.
Yeah.
It was
It
like,
made her look extremely tall, which is not a bad
yeah.
thing.
Cameroon's gown was from a Filipino designer, I think. And of course, I just realized that my gown was just different. I tried to like check the other gowns when they were on the stage, and she was the only one who had the cone thingy on the side. I was so
Mhm.
scared to do that. I didn't
Mhm.
know how to do it.
You should be very
Yeah,
proud of yourself. That gown,
Yeah.
like you said, it definitely stood out because, like I said at the beginning, it was very similar colors, but your gown definitely stood out because it was a pop of
Mhm.
color and it was so refreshing to
thank
see
you.
a blue, such a beautiful color. You should be very proud of yourself. And I'm not saying this
Thank
because
you,
you're my
George.
friend.
Thank
I'm
you.
just saying it
Thank
because
you.
it was a good,
Yes,
really
you
good.
are, George. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
We're all friends here, so thank you guys for being so
No, it was really
loving.
beautiful.
I really liked South Africa's evening gown. I know she's a fashion
Mhm.
designer, so I really appreciated that she wanted to, show off her design skills, and I really liked it. It was like a Jessica Rabbit, but in blue version, and blue is my favorite color. So I was like, oh my god, this girl! Like we had such a high expectation from her because remember, South
Yeah.
Africa is the reigning winner, right? Like
Right.
country. So like I had such a high expectation from Natasha,
Mhm.
and this girl delivered. And I'm not even
Yeah.
going to be like mad if she ends up winning or gets the back to back because this gown was superb, styling was on point, everything. I'm really happy with Natasha. So in
Okay.
the end, Which girl stood out to you guys? I need top 5 in both combination of swimsuit and the evening gown.
Okay, it'll be Philippines, Cambodia, Canada, USA, and of course Belize. I want her to be there.
So I'm gonna give you 4. I'm gonna think of my 5th. So definitely Puerto Rico because I think she did amazing. So yeah, so Canada, Puerto Rico, South Africa, Mexico, and Nepal.
Okay, Philippines, Canada, Puerto Rico. I really like Mexico, India.
My top 5 are South Africa, Puerto Rico, Philippines, Peru, and Costa Rica. That's it. Yeah, so those would be my top 5, just based on the Plumlay competition. Thank you guys for watching this video. So I had such a good time talking to you guys from all around the universe. And if do let me know in the comment section who is your personal favorite, who stood out to you during the Plumlay competition. I wish you guys all the best for the upcoming finale, which is on the 16th of May. And saying good morning from Bangkok, Thailand. This is me, Edwin George, signing off. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.